When Starfield finally arrives on the PlayStation 5, it isn't just another platform release. It's the culmination of everything the game has become since launch. This version represents a fully realized experience built on months of updates, refinements, and player feedback, and it immediately feels like a more confident, complete version of Starfield the moment you step into the settled systems. For players who held off or are considering jumping in for the first time, this isn't just a good entry point. It's arguably the definitive one, because everything that once needed improvement has already been addressed before you even press start. One of the biggest advantages of the PlayStation 5 version is that it includes every update released to date, headlined by the massive Free Lanes update launching alongside it. This isn't a minor patch or a handful of tweaks. It's a substantial evolution of the game's systems, content, and overall flow. That means improved gameplay balance, expanded content opportunities, and a smoother, more cohesive experience from beginning to end. Instead of experiencing Starfield as it was at launch, PS5 players are stepping into a version that has already been shaped into something stronger, more refined, and more aligned with what players originally hoped it would be. That alone dramatically changes the perception of the game, turning it from something that felt like it had potential into something that actually delivers on it. Performance is another area where the PS5 version really stands out, especially if you're playing on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Players are given a meaningful choice between two distinct modes that cater to different playstyles. Pro Visual Mode targets a full 4K output at 30 frames per second, prioritizing image quality, lighting, and environmental detail to create a more cinematic experience. On the other hand, Pro Performance Mode aims for 60 frames per second, delivering smoother motion and more responsive gameplay, which can make a huge difference during combat or fast-paced exploration. What makes this even more impressive is that both modes are powered by PlayStation's PSSR upscaling technology, allowing the game to maintain strong visual fidelity while still achieving its performance targets. This isn't just about numbers. It's about giving players control over how they want to experience the game, whether they value visual immersion or gameplay fluidity more. Even on the standard PS5, the improvements are immediately noticeable. Thanks to SSD optimization, loading times are significantly reduced, making travel between planets, entering interiors, and navigating menus feel far more seamless. The game simply flows better, with fewer interruptions breaking your immersion. On top of that, full trophy support gives PlayStation players an added layer of progression and accomplishment, encouraging exploration and rewarding those who dive deeper into everything the game has to offer. These features might sound standard on paper, but together they contribute to a version of Starfield that feels smoother, faster, and more responsive in ways that genuinely enhance the overall experience. Where the PS5 version truly separates itself, though, is in its use of the DualSense controller. This is where the game starts to feel less like a traditional port and more like something tailored specifically for the platform. The adaptive triggers, for example, add a layer of physical feedback that changes depending on the weapon you're using. Firing a heavy weapon feels different from using a lighter one, and ship combat carries its own distinct resistance, subtly reinforcing the power and mechanics of what you're controlling. It's not just a gimmick. It actively enhances the sensation of gameplay, making each action feel more deliberate and impactful. The DualSense light bar also plays a surprisingly effective role in immersion. Instead of being purely decorative, it reflects your in-game status in real time. When your health drops or your ship is in danger, the light shifts and pulses red, creating a visual cue that extends beyond the screen. As you recover, it gradually returns to its default state, reinforcing that sense of tension and relief. It's a small detail, but it adds another layer of feedback that keeps you connected to what's happening in the game without relying solely on traditional UI elements. The touchpad functionality further enhances the overall experience by streamlining navigation and interaction. Instead of digging through menus or relying entirely on button prompts, you can quickly switch perspectives, open the map, activate your scanner, or swipe through key menus like inventory, missions, and skills. This keeps the gameplay flow intact, reducing friction and allowing you to stay immersed in exploration rather than constantly pausing to manage systems. It's an intuitive use of the hardware that feels natural once you get used to it, and it contributes to the overall sense that this version of Starfield has been thoughtfully adapted for PlayStation. Then there's the controller speaker, which adds one more layer of immersion by delivering audio logs and ship intercom chatter directly through the controller itself. Instead of everything being confined to your TV or headset, certain sounds feel like they're happening right in your hands, creating a more personal connection to the world. It's especially effective during quieter moments, where these audio elements can draw you deeper into the atmosphere of the game and make the universe feel more alive and immediate. When you take all of these features together, the complete set of updates, the improved performance options, the hardware optimizations, and the DualSense integration, it becomes clear that Starfield on PS5 isn't just about expanding the game to a new audience. It's about presenting the best possible version of that experience, one that benefits from everything learned since launch and fully leverages the strengths of the platform. This version just doesn't meet expectations, it redefines them, showing how much a game can evolve when given the time and tools to reach its full potential. If you've been on the fence about Starfield, this release might be the moment that changes your mind. And if you've already experienced it elsewhere, the enhancements here could be enough to justify another journey through the settled systems, especially if you're curious about how these features impact the feel of the game moment to moment. Either way, it's clear that this is more than just a port. It's a statement about what Starfield has become. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And if you want to go even deeper into conversations like this, check out my Patreon, where the latest exclusive discussion dives into whether Xbox consoles and PCs are essentially becoming the same platform and what that means for the future of gaming. Thanks for watching, and as always, game on.